This video is brought to you by SimpliSafe. More about them later in the video. Now, ladies and gents, the Volvo's back. Well, not yet, but we're getting there. For those of you who don't know, who are new to the channel, I used to have a turbo LS swap sleeper Volvo. Well, I still do have it, but blew up the motor. Actually, I didn't blow up the motor. The timing chain came loose and I thought it was rod knock and I disassembled it and pretty much ruined it. So the Volvo has just been quietly sitting in my driveway for the past, however many months it's been. It's got a nice sleeper patina, looks even more sleeper, which is perfect. That's the whole reason we did this whole thing. Now, I've always planned to bring this car back. I talked about it in a few videos, but I just wanted to take my time on it. We had the Eclipse to finish. We had the shop to move into and get this all finished. Now that that's all done, we can get back to the Volvo. And as you see behind me, we have a new LS. Right here, we have a Gen 4 iron block 5.3. It might be a little bit more boring than the 5.7 aluminum block that we had. This is just a truck motor. It's a junkyard motor, as you might be able to tell. But this is the strongest, pretty much the strongest factory bottom end out of all the LSs. With the right parts, which are over here, this thing should be able to handle 1,000 horsepower. I picked this motor up for 600 bucks. And all these parts, even with all these parts, I'm gonna be less invested in this 1,000 horsepower motor than I am in that 300 horsepower motor. That's why people LS swap things, if you're wondering. In this video, we're gonna get this thing unjunkyarded. We're gonna take it apart, send it to the machine shop, have them rebuild the bottom end. We're gonna have them go through the top end. We're gonna have them put all these new parts in. This is like all it really requires to make a Gen 4 LS make 1,000 horsepower. We have a stage 2 turbo cam. We have valve springs and LS7 lifters. We have ARP bolts for the main caps, rod caps, and the head studs. That will hold everything together. Billet timing set right here, also beautiful, and a high pressure oil pump. That's pretty much everything. Then we have obviously just, trays, bearings, all the boring stuff. So let's get these heads off of here and get it sent off to the machine shop. Definitely a junkyard motor, that's for sure. So the thing about Gen 4 LS motors is that they have like the cylinder deactivation thing. So we have to do a delete for that. And that's what failed on this motor, hence why it's in the junkyard. So one of the lifters should be screwed up, most likely. But that's why we've got a new valley cover and stuff over there in the parts. Ooh. Don't know how that works, but somehow it turns cylinders on and off. Now we're gonna do the lifters and all that, cam, timing stuff, and then take the oil pan off and then send it to the machine shop. Oh.
Well,
that's a real good sign. That just goes to show how well this thing was stored. mean, despite the cylinder walls not being the best, like, this thing still turns over really smoothly. So that gives me hope. I am gonna go ahead and pull out the cam, but after that, I'm leaving all this as is. Well, the good sign is that this cam looks perfect. I'm not gonna use that, but maybe we'll use it for some furniture when we go to make it the loft. Well, we got her back from the machine shop and the engine builder. Short block all assembled, all refreshed. These look good. We got our beautiful ARP main studs, our ARP rod bolts, Gen 4 rods, Gen 4 pistons, our BTR Turbo 2 cam down there. Timing chains all set up already too. Ready to roll. So we've got to get this thing ready to throw into the Volvo. We gotta seal up the bottom, obviously. We got our new oil pan. Then we got our refreshed heads with the new gaskets, upgraded studs. And then it's like valve cover, all the front accessories, making everything look nice. Gonna paint the motor, paint other stuff, and then it's good to go. So the new red block swap for the Volvo is coming along nicely. As you can see, we just have the front cover on, the oil pickup tube on, and it's painted. Now we're gonna work on getting the heads put back on. But first, let me thank this video sponsor, SimpliSafe. There's really no safe like SimpliSafe, and let me tell you why. For one, setting up and getting your SimpliSafe security system is incredibly simple. You hop online, design a system specifically tailored for your needs, and you get it shipped directly to your front door. After that, you get to set up your SimpliSafe security system, which only takes about 30 minutes and only requires simple hand tools. The most fantastic part about that is that you don't have to set up any appointments, you don't have to hire a technician to come and install it, and you have none of the hassles that other security systems and other services usually have. And SimpliSafe's security system is incredibly powerful. They've got sensors to cover every door, window, and wall, entry sensors, motion detectors, smart locks. My personal favorite are their cameras. They've got an amazing wireless outdoor camera with a wide field of view, high resolution, and they have an awesome wired indoor camera. The even awesomer part about that is the camera is paired with the SimpliSafe app. At any time from my phone, I can access any of the camera's feeds. If any of the cameras detect motion, it sends a notification to my phone. Oh, my arm was falling asleep. In fact, just the other day, my SimpliSafe security system caught someone break into the Volvo here and fall asleep in the driver's seat. Thankfully, because of the security system, I was able to dispatch the police and get it all taken care of. Too bad they smoked a cigarette in here first. But honestly, if I didn't have SimpliSafe's monitoring plan, which is less than $1 a day, that situation could have been a whole lot worse. They could have stolen a lot of stuff from the Volvo, they could have wrecked it, but thankfully, none of that happened. So if you guys are interested, you can get 20% off your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month for free. Go to simplisafe.com/Gingium to learn more. I'll have a link up there in the cards and down in the description. And yet again, huge thank you to SimpliSafe for sponsoring this video and keeping this shop protected. The only thing different with our heads is that front's been resurfaced, valves have all been, you know, redone, new valve seals, new valve springs. We got, I believe, dual valve springs. That'll keep all the boost in the cylinder, so that's good. Head numero uno. So we got our heads on and torqued with the studs. We got our valley cover plate that deleted the cylinder deactivation on there. We got all of our push rods. Just gonna go ahead and plop them in. Right now our rockers are getting cleaned at the machine shop. New valve covers are coming in the mail. We didn't want any stock ones. Once we get all of that on, the valve tray and the valve covers on, then we can flip the motor over and put the oil pan on. We do have to weld a turbo redrain line on there, but it's funny, this engine is so simple, I almost feel like I'm missing something. I'm just like paranoid that I'm missing something, because like, no way could it already be ready to make 1,000 horsepower. I don't get it. I do want to test fit something while we wait for all the other parts to come in the mail. We got coilovers for this thing, a hydro, new trans shifter. But this is the thing I want to test fit real quick. Hunter got this for me. Technically.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's the...
Yeah. You didn't guess. This is a Holley-ify intake manifold. Jeez. It's big. More power. Looks funky without valve covers, but it's gonna be a good looking motor. The only problem was like the Volvo hood. I don't know if it's gonna clear.
I don't think it will.
I don't know.
I think it'll probably, I think it's gonna hit like right.
I might be able to just take out some support.
You just have the Holly.
There are a couple good things about this intake. I know that it flows better, obviously, especially with meth injection, which is what we were using. With the stock intake manifold, the back cylinders don't get as much meth. And then thirdly, the size of the throttle hole. Look, I'm arm deep in my intake manifold. That is wild. On the stock manifold, I needed an adapter, which was like 2.5 inches. So now I believe I've got a throttle body that can go straight onto this. We're not going to put this on till the motor's in the car because, like I said, I know it's a tight fit. There's no point in putting this on if I don't know for sure that I can keep it on, because it would suck to put it on, put the car in, or the engine in, and then we're working on getting all the front accessories on while we still wait for some other parts. Now the alternator on the last motor I had was a custom setup. This block is missing some of the things to put that custom alternator onto this thing. The last block, there was a threaded hole here, so we're gonna have to drill and tap right there. We gotta self-clearance it a little bit, and then the alternator can get mounted, and then we're gonna have to make a new idler pulley mount as well. But once those two things are done, then we can get a belt on here and front accessories. Keep going, man. Before I seal up the bottom of the motor, I'm gonna go ahead and pour some oil down the pickup tube, which will get it into the oil pump, start getting it into the oil galleries, with the goal of hopefully making it build oil pressure quicker when we go to crank it. Oh, there we go, it's full now. Crank it over. Oh yeah, look, it sucks it up. All right. There's some oil in the pump. I really wanted to have this engine 100% done by the end of this video, but like the valve covers and some other parts have just gotten delays after delay. So here we are, we're gonna end it here. The LS is assembled, ready to run, besides valve covers. The next step, we have to do some things to the Volvo, just some small improvements that are much easier to do with the engine out of the car. Then we put the new 5-wheel clutch setup on there, which is super baller. Put the new trans on here with the new shifter, also super baller. Then we throw this thing in here, put all the turbo kit, the cooling system on, and hopefully it runs. In the next video, we're tuning the Eclipse, or at least trying to, and then we'll get back to the Volvo. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do want to watch the next video ahead of schedule, you can click up there, become a Patreon, plus get exclusive access to a bunch of other stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And yet again, a huge thank you to SimpliSafe for sponsoring this video.